This video is going to be about graphing quadratics. Currently this quadratic, y equals x squared minus 6x subtract 14, is in standard form. So from standard form I can find the y-intercept. You always find the y-intercept by plugging 0 in for x. If you plug 0 in for x, these 0 out, the first two terms 0 out, and then you get negative 14. So the y-intercept for this graph is 0, negative 14. The next thing you can find quickly is the vertex. So the vertex in this form, the formula is negative b over 2a. Comes from the quadratic formula. Alright, so in our picture, in our equation, a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 6, and c is equal to negative 14. So negative b over 2a would be, let me go up here, negative b over 2a. So x equals 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Okay, so what this means is the x of the vertex if you look back here, it was 3. 3. Okay, here's my equation again. If you have this equation, if you have a value for x, to get a value for y, you just plug the x in. So you get 9 minus 18 minus 14. And 9 minus 18 is negative 9 minus 14 would be negative 23. Okay, so we have the y-intercept 0, negative 14, the vertex 3, negative 23. The direction is up because a is 1. Up. Our line of symmetry is always the x of the vertex, but you turn it into a line. So it's x equals 3. Okay, next point. I'm going to show you how to change this from standard form to vertex form, even though we have our vertex. I'm going to show you how to do that. So, I'll do that on the next slide. Okay, to go from standard form to vertex form, you complete the square. So here's how I complete the square. In this problem, I move the constant over. I take half of b. I take half of negative 6. And that gives me negative 3. And I square it. And I get 9. So I add 9 to both sides. Then this left side, I factor it. And if you remember the trick, whenever you take half of b, that's always your factor. Okay, so here's two cool things from this. From here, I can say, oh, if I want to get x-intercepts, I know how to do that. I just solve for x. So you take the square root of both sides. Also, if you want to just get it in vertex form, you just move the 23 over. So if I move the 23 over, this is vertex form. So the vertex is 3, negative 23. See? 3, negative 23, just like we found it different in standard form. But all this information should be the same. We can check our information. Okay, so the other thing you could do from this step is you can solve for x and get the x-intercepts. So by doing that, I just go take the square root of both sides. Plus or minus root 23. And then you just add 3. I'm going to stop and get values for those. So your x-intercepts are 7.80, and I got that by going 3 plus square root 23, and I rounded to the 10th place, 7.8, 3 minus square root of 23, negative 1.8. All right, let's put all this on a graph. Okay, so the last step is to sketch the graph. You got 0, negative 14 as your y-intercept. Your vertex is 3, negative 23. The axis of symmetry would be x equals 3. You could kind of sketch that if you wanted to. I'll do it with like a dashed line. Your x-intercept 7.80 and negative 1.80. All right, thanks for watching.